Dakota Johnson causes a stir. I'm willing to trade everything for Jamie Dornan. Dakota Johnson steps behind the curtain of a live television show, where she has been invited to participate in a special interview about her personal life and career. The camera pans slowly, the lights shining on the actress' face, her eyes sparkling with a hint of nervousness, her lips smiling slightly as she walks past the lens. The show has been carefully prepared, the host, the lights, the audience. But what everyone is most looking forward to is not the story of the new movie, but, amid the breakup rumors, the headline-grabbing articles, whether Dakota will officially say anything about her relationship with Jamie Dornan. When she appears, the audience applauds enthusiastically. The camera pans to the audience, some wiping away tears, some holding up their phones to record. She wears a long, pale green dress. The style is simple but elegant, her hair is loose and gentle. Her face remains calm, but a little trembles when exposed to the light. "Hello Dakota, hello dear audience," the host smiled, then led in, "Congratulations on the success of your new film, but the audience strongly expects you to share about your personal life. There are many articles talking about you and Jamie. They say you might end it, or you're in a trade-off phase. What do you think about that?" Dakota took a breath, her eyes flickered, but she kept her composure. She replied, "I want to make one thing very clear. I don't want to break up with Jamie Dornan. And if there's anything I'm willing to accept everything to be with you." The words rang out in the silence. The camera zoomed in on Dakota's face, her eyes looked up, her hand lightly gripped the microphone as if to hold on. The audience almost held its breath. The host was nervous. To accept everything? Can you be more specific about what that means?" Dakota nodded slightly, and began to tell the silent journey before the storm of rumors. She talked about the months of enduring pressure from the media, from social networks, from malicious comments. "When Jamie and I started together, no one thought the relationship could withstand that gaze. The rumors, 'You're using him to get famous, if we break up, you'll be a wreck,' those words were everywhere. There were nights when I stayed up all night, reading each article, imagining myself as a character in someone's fictional story. I was heartbroken, but I kept quiet because I believed in my feelings," she continued, "but silence doesn't mean giving up. Some people say, if you truly love him, endure, but I think, if you love him and endure forever, your heart will suffocate." She recounted one time, when they appeared together at a movie premiere, a reporter peeked through the crack of the door and asked, "Why aren't you smiling? Or, are you regretting it?" She responded with a forced smile and a downcast look, feeling like she was playing a part in an unwanted play. "I used to think I would walk away, leave the relationship so my reputation wouldn't be damaged," she said. "But whenever I closed my eyes and imagined it, without Jamie, I felt empty inside, like a part of my soul was missing." She continued about the times they talked in silence, him holding her, telling her he knew she was suffering. And she silently promised herself, no matter what she lost, she wouldn't lose him. When "giving it all away" was no longer just a word, Dakota continued, saying, "Giving it all away isn't just a statement, it's something deep down." She said there were things she gave up to keep the relationship. She once turned down an international promotion if the schedule would keep her and Jamie apart for too long. She limited her personal media exposure if it would easily lead to negative rumors. She accepted malicious comments to protect their shared image, not responding to every comment. She sometimes turned down a role if it would keep her too busy, affecting the time she had with them. She said Jamie called her one night in the middle of the night, saying he missed her. There was a hint of exhaustion and stress in his voice. She burst into tears on the phone and said, "Let me be with you, whatever it takes." He responded quietly, then said, "That's enough for me." She looked deep into the audience's eyes, her voice strong. "I accept all the suspicious looks, all the bad gossip, just to be with you, to let our relationship breathe." The MC was silent for a few beats, then asked, "Are you afraid, if you trade too much, you will lose yourself?" Dakota nodded, her eyes sad. "I am afraid. I am afraid that I will lose myself, if I keep being the shadow behind, if I keep enduring without speaking up. But I think, people can lose you if you step back, but if you fight for love, you keep your soul." She said, "I don't want to break up, I don't want to leave you. I accept everything to be with you, but I also hope you understand, if there is a time when I am helpless, I want to speak up, I want to cry, I want to be weak. And I hope you are still there, not leaving." Audience reactions, truthful words. When the announcement was made, the audience held their breath. A woman burst into tears in the audience. Some quickly pulled out tissues, many held their phones to record, but everyone looked emotional. The MC praised, "Thank you, Dakota, you're so brave to say this in the spotlight." Dakota smiled slightly, tears welling up in her eyes. "I don't know if people will believe it, but I need to say it, so that if there's anything out there, maybe they'll look at what I said." After the taping, social media was immediately flooded with excerpts. Dakota Johnson, "I would trade everything to be with Jamie Dornan." Fans on both sides reacted, some supportive, some skeptical. But in this fictional story, someone said that after the show ended, Jamie called Dakota, saying, "You're right, no need to trade too much, we'll go together with understanding." Dakota heard and burst into tears. Moments after the lights, Dakota sat in the waiting room, the lights dim, her mood mixed. She looked in the mirror and saw her eyes were red. Blush mixed with fatigue. She asked herself, "Did I take on too much?" An assistant brought her a drink. She took a sip, then looked out the window. Outside was the bright city, the long line of cars. She closed her eyes, imagining Jamie there, holding her gently. She told herself, "I could have chosen to step back, but I decided to step forward. I was willing to trade to keep what I believe." A few minutes later, Jamie appeared. He walked into the waiting room, softly, quietly. Dakota turned to look, her face lit up. He approached, took her hand tightly. "You," he hesitated, his voice warm. She hugged him, tears welling up. "Did you hear?" He nodded, his eyes filled with tears. "You don't need to sacrifice too much. I will walk with you." She was silent, her heart calming down as if all the storms outside were hidden.